Good channel and to this week's video. How are you all? Hope you're all doing really well this week. Lovely to see you as always. Welcome to another vlog. It is freezing cold everywhere, isn't it? I hope you're all okay and no one's had any heating breakdowns or anything like that. Nice and cozy in my house today, but it is bitterly cold. Beautiful sunshine coming through my kitchen window. The sky is blue, but it's freezing. There's ice everywhere. So being really super careful with Nancy as well. But it's winter. What can you say? It's winter. At least the Susans are doing the right kind of thing. Anyway, hope you all are doing okay. I'm having a big sort out this week. The moving process, the moving house process, could very well be within the next 6 to 8 weeks, possibly, if not sooner. I don't think it'll be much sooner than that, but potentially everything's going along really quite well at the moment. So I've had some removal companies come in to give me some quotes already, and I really need to start my decluttering process. I've made a start a little bit in the kitchen this week. I've decided on a few items of furniture that I need to sell. And once I've sort of tackled the decluttering this end, I then need to move on to Nancy's house and sort out the furniture that needs to be sold, the things that need to get gone to the charity shop or wherever they're going to go. And I'm kind of on restricted time because I've still got to go to work and still got to do everything. But you know what? If you can do Vlogmas, you can do anything. That's the way I see it. I'm not going to put any pressure on myself. I'm going to enjoy the process and not let it get me stressed. That's the main thing. So I'm hoping to pick a removal company in the next few days. And once I've done that, they will start supplying me with boxes and everything I need for starting to wrap things up. And I am going to start to pack the non-essential things. And I know it means I'm going to be living in a house surrounded by boxes, which is going to do my head in, definitely, for a little bit. But I'd rather be organised and ready to go if needs be, not at the drop of a hat, but you know, if there was a bit of short notice, we need to sort of be on it now. Oh, and yes, next weekend, I'm going on, well, it's my birthday next weekend. I should be 50 on Saturday. So I've got a bit of a do to go to on Saturday evening that my daughter's arranged. And then I'm going away for a few days on a surprise holiday. So who knows what the next couple of weeks will bring. So obviously I need to tie that in as well as sorting out and everything, but I'm really looking forward to my surprise. And of course, I will take you along with me so you will get to see wherever it is I'm going. All I know is that I need my passport and lots of warm clothes and a suitcase. The rest is a mystery. Anyway, let's get back to today and this week's video. I hope you enjoy it. I need to sort out and declutter these drawers next, which there's probably not that much to do actually. And I'm actually not going to start at the top because that's not too bad. And I think all these little things will be going with me. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm sure it's not just me, but do you find that everybody says, oh, I have a junk drawer, particularly in the kitchen, let's say, or I don't know, it could be in your dining room or your lounge where you've got a drawer full of pens or keys and all those kind of things. Well, I think I've got 2 or 3 junk drawers really. And I've just emptied that one drawer in the bottom of the kitchen. And I would say at least half of that is going to go to the charity shop. I have some beautiful things, many of which I have picked up myself over the years, whether it's been a gift, or my sister used to have lots of beautiful things. And of course, when she passed away, I took them and I've looked after them. I've got lots of things that are sentimental. So there's certain things that I would never part with. But then there's been other things that I've perhaps picked up as a bargain in a charity shop, or I've thought that's really pretty, I'll have that. And then I haven't used it and it's ended up in a drawer. So there are a few of those items just in that one particular drawer. For example, I have a few chopping boards, and I've got this little one that is very nice, but it's little and I never use it. And yes, it's got a few scratches on, as a chopping board would have, but I never ever use it. That never comes out of the cupboard. So what is the point of me keeping it? I'm not going to. That's going to go to the charity shop. Plus this, which is gorgeous. And it's like, well, it's got this raised bubble effect glass, which is lovely. And particularly perhaps if it's Valentine's, or you're having a little, some cakes or some chocolates on Valentine's Day, or you're doing a special meal. But other than Valentine's Day, again, that's never come out of the cupboard. I think I got this in a charity shop, and it probably wasn't that long ago, probably a couple of years ago, and I've never used it. I'm sure there would be somebody that would. That's going to the charity shop. And then I've got lots and lots of placemats and coasters, and I'm going to have a new dining table in the new house. And these placemats and coasters aren't going to match. I don't need 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of anything. So again, I'm going to be quite ruthless, and I'm going to sort those out and get them to the charity shop. But there are certain things I am keeping. But actually it feels quite good to be having a New Year declutter. Whether I'm moving or not, it still feels quite good. But the moving has obviously given me the inspiration to do it. So yeah, let's carry on. There's going to be a few charity shop runs, I think. Well, after all that sorting, I thought, you know what, I'll go out and have a little look at MAXX and see if I can get some inspiration for some new things that I might need for the new house. I didn't make a purchase, but it was nice to have a good browse round. So here we are, having our moment on the bed. And this week, I want to talk about the menopause predominantly, but tied into that, I want to share with you something that I don't think I have ever shared with you before. I don't think I have ever mentioned this on this channel before, and yet it forms and has formed a major part of my life. So why shouldn't I share it with you? Why haven't I shared it with you until now? The reason I haven't shared it with you until now is because I've had periods of it being better than others, but it does very much tie in to the menopause. So this is the first time I've ever said this, and most of my family don't know this, or do know this but don't know the extent of it. My dad, God rest his soul, knew and understood it completely because he was a very similar personality to me. And there's an element of anxiety involved with it, and my dad had a lot of anxiety and depression, phobias and fears. But I have one particular phobia that I've had from memory from about the age of 6 or 7. So a bit of a trigger warning here if you've ever heard of emetophobia. If you have, you know what it is. Switch off now if you're triggered by this. If you don't know what it is, I'll tell you what it is. Again, if you're triggered by this, please you don't have to watch this video any further, but I just want to relate to you how it's impacting my life at the moment, really, with the menopause. So emetophobia is a fear of vomiting. And it's not just a fear of yourself vomiting. It's a fear of watching somebody else vomiting, hearing somebody vomiting, seeing somebody vomiting. It has a range of all sorts of images, visualizations when you're in the throes of a panic attack or an anxiety attack that's surrounding emetophobia. People's symptoms differ. The extent to which those symptoms are and the way it impacts people's life vary tremendously. But I have had it for many, many years. Now, back in 2016, I had a little bit of a nervous breakdown, and that was related to a lot of things. I'd got divorced, I'd had cancer, I'd recovered from cancer. My sister had cancer, but unfortunately passed away from cancer. And then I had the remnants of dealing with the aftermath of her passing. So I was selling her property, looking after mum and dad. And so when those things were done, about 2 to 3 years after she passed away, I then crashed with grief and just an overwhelmingness of having dealt with a lot in a short period of time. Over a couple of years, I'd had a lot going on and had to have about 9 months off work. And I wasn't very well at all. And this phobia that I'd had on and off throughout the whole of my life, but in different forms of how it was heightened. Sometimes I could cope with it and sometimes I couldn't. But when I got poorly in 2016, the emetophobia got tremendously worse. And I ended up having some EMDR treatment and some cognitive behavioural therapy, which helped tremendously. And EMDR therapy is, I'll link it down below for you as to what it is. It's very, very clever, but it's a sort of rapid eye movement thing that the doctor does with you, and it resets your images and memories from the past. And I was told through that counselling that the probable reason I had emetophobia was back in my childhood. I was about 7. I had to have a major kidney operation, which kept me in hospital for 9 months. And I'd been quite a sicky baby and a sicky child. and I was constantly vomiting. And it wasn't until I was 6 that I was diagnosed with this problem, which was an element of hydronephrosis in my left kidney. But my left kidney was swelling so big that it was totally diseased, really. So I was really quite poorly, but the main symptom of that was vomiting. So I remember vomiting such a lot as a child. Every night, every couple of nights, every couple of days, I was stick thin. It was a huge problem. I was in hospital for a long time. So it's highly likely that's where that has come from. But I also remember being very little and hearing my sister get up in the middle of the night, and I could hear her vomiting, and it frightened me, and I had to cover my ears. And I've got some very, very vivid memories of my childhood, of times when people have been sick and being frightened of it. I was scared when I first got pregnant when I was married, because I was so scared about having morning sickness. I didn't with either of my children, didn't get any morning sickness whatsoever. And I've always been petrified of the children being sick when they were children, of picking up bugs, of catching it, it's just a horrific phobia. And as I say, sometimes it's worse than others, and I've never ever spoke about it. Never spoke about it, but it's reared its ugly head a little bit recently. And I know it's because I have a bit of heightened anxiety at the moment. And I know that that is mainly because of the menopause. And anxiety is one of the top 5 symptoms women going through the menopause get. And it's horrible. It's not good at all. My menopause stroke, I would say latter premenopause is what I'm in, is a little bit all over the place. So I had 4 months of no menstrual cycle not too long ago, and thought, that's it, I'm in it. Got to get to 12 months, then I'm out the other end. No, then I had a bleed. Then I had another bleed the following month to the day. And then I had 2 months of no bleed. And then I had a bit of a bleed, and it's all been a bit all over the place. So I am still getting a bit of a bleed every now and then, but there's no rhyme or reason as to when it's happening. So I'm obviously very sort of latter stage perimenopausal, I would say. Obviously huge weight gain. Night sweats are horrific at the moment. Fortunately, my pain level is really low at the moment with all the other issues, and that's really good news. I'm really improving on that level, but the night sweats are bad. Very, very bad at the moment. But I know what's going on. I know it's all involved, and it's all, and of course moving house is stressful. That's giving me a bit of anxiety, even if it's probably a bit subconsciously. So, I know what's going on. So I know my limits, and I know how to, limit myself, really. That's the best expression, isn't it? Limit myself as to what I'm doing mentally and physically, but still trying to function and get everything done and those plates stay spinning. But yeah, it has reared its ugly head a little bit recently. It's not very pleasant. And well, even if I hear someone go to the bathroom in the night, it wakes me up very suddenly, and I panic as I think, why have they gone to the bathroom? It's so unreasonable. And I think one of the other reasons why I haven't talked about it before is it sounds so silly, doesn't it? And it's quite embarrassing, really. And one of the worst experiences I had not too long ago, I would say about 5 years ago, I was on a camping trip, and I hate camping anyway. And this sealed it for me. I'm sorry, any campers out there. I hate it. Hate it with a passion. It's never suited me with my back problems and things like that anyway. But generally, I don't like it. I'll just put it that way. I don't like it. Anyway, I went on this camping trip, and it was all right. And I was only there for 2 nights. I thought, well, it's only 2 nights. It's fine. The place I was at was lovely, and I'd been many times, but, I'm just not into camping. Anyway, got back to the tent after an evening out and had gone to sleep, and then I was awoken, however long later, a couple of hours later, by the horrendous noise of somebody vomiting right next to my tent, right next to me. But they were so loud, it was just awful. It was like my worst nightmare. I had a woolly hat on anyway because I'd slept in a woolly hat because it was really quite cold, and I got my fingers in my ears and I couldn't stand it, and it was just the most horrific thing, and I had a huge panic attack and palpitations, and it was making me so uncomfortable. And I just lay there thinking, hi, I'm never doing this again. And then a couple of hours later, the same person did the same thing again. And a couple of hours later, the same thing again. So clearly very, very poorly, which was awful for them. But it was awful for me as well. And that was the last time I was really affected by it. And sometimes when I get a bit anxious now, those memories creep back in. So it could be that I could do with perhaps a little bit more EMDR treatment to sort of reprocess and reset those images a little bit, because as I say, it has worked for me before. But I think it's just all tied in with the heightened anxiety I've got because I'm going through the menopause. And one of the reasons why I've spoke about this today is because actually knowing it's part of the menopause and knowing that it's I'm going to say irrational, but it isn't for people that suffer with it. It seems irrational. But if I can sort of say to you, well, I know it's because of this, or I know it's because I've got heightened anxiety, and it's just a case of learning to deal with that anxiety, then it does help you and it does help the process. And I know also there are a huge amount of people that suffer with this problem and have it to varying degrees. And it is pretty dreadful. Actually, it is dreadful. But I've just felt the need to share it with you at this stage, because I wonder whether there are any of you that are also going through the menopause or in a similar stage to me. I'm 50 on Saturday, this sort of age bracket, perimenopause, menopause, that have the same. I'd be intrigued to know, or do you have anxiety with your perimenopause? And if so, what kind of anxiety? How is that taking hold? Is it taking hold of your day-to-day life? Is it having a major effect on things that you do? And mine is kind of more of a nighttime worry in a weird way, because I suppose, you know, when you've been a mum and you've got kids and they're poorly in the night and things like that, I think I've just got these images that form part of the anxiety. And yeah, thought I'd share it today, strangely, of all days, of all things. But yeah, I just felt the need to tell you, and also to say, you know, I really do think it's part of the menopause, and my menopause symptoms at the moment are semi under control, and some of them are not under control like that. And if you've followed me for some time, you'll know that I don't take HRT because I'm not a suitable candidate, having had malignant melanoma in the past. So I take Happy Mammoth hormone supplements, which are natural, and I take plenty of magnesium, vitamin D. I'm taking all the right natural supplements, and I do think they have a positive effect. I really do think they have a positive effect. And I also take fluoxetine, and that is an antidepressant. It's Prozac, but studies have found that it's actually very, very good in helping some of the symptoms of menopause, including night sweats. So although I'm having night sweats at the moment, who knows what they'd be like without the fluoxetine. And the fluoxetine is keeping me quite well balanced, and there's such a lot going on in my life anyway at the moment that I am going to stick with that for some time. Come with that comes other things, and you know, weight gain. Fluoxetine doesn't help that, menopause doesn't help that. And you know, it's something I'd like to tackle, but I know it's more difficult when you're going through the menopause. I'm not going to stress about it, but yeah, I would like to lose a bit of weight. But on that note, yeah, I just wanted to share it with you, because I would be surprised if there isn't some of you that are going through something similar. I'm intrigued to know. If you're happy to share it with me, I'm intrigued to know. On a slightly lighter note now, as I've said, have I said it? I'm 50 on Saturday. And I'm going on a surprise holiday a couple of days after my birthday. I've been told it's going to be very cold. So I just wanted to show you these I found this week. Flipping heck, I need them here. I don't know about going on holiday. How cold is it? It's got colder and colder as the week's gone on, hasn't it? But I found these in Lidl the other day. They are thermal base layer leggings. Soft and warm. Oh, these say extra warm. Look. So I thought they'd be good. Put some leggings underneath whatever trousers I'm wearing, because I'm going to be doing a lot of walking, apparently. And they're thermal, made with recycled material. I've gone for quite a big size. I'm a sort of good 14 at the moment. Good 14. And I've gone for a 16 to 18 because I thought I want them, you know, to come up a bit. I want them to be comfy. And I'm going to wear those under whatever trousers I'm wearing on holiday to keep my legs warm. And then off Amazon, I picked up 2 thermal vests, ladies' thermal vests. I'll link all these down below for you if you're interested. And these come in long sleeve, short sleeved, or like a camisole top. I've just gone for the short sleeved because I sometimes find the long sleeve, if you've got a long sleeved jumper over the top, it's a bit too much on my arms. I don't know why, that's just me. But I've gone for the short sleeved thermal vest, and I've got 2 of those. I'm only away for 5 days, so hopefully that would be okay. And then also off Amazon, I picked up a set that includes, how cute is this? Really like this. A whole sort of cozy winter set, which includes a nice woolly hat, but inside, it's fleecy. How lovely and warm is that? I'm going to love it. But also came with it were some fluffy earmuffs. I'm loving it. They can go over the top. Also, some nice warm gloves, although I have got my lovely gloves from Christmas that my son bought me. Lovely. And they've got little things here so you can still use your mobile phone. It also came with a lovely scarf. Look at this. Oh, actually, I need this today if I go out today. And it came with a pair of thermal socks. So hopefully Paul, aka the Invisible Chef, who's taking me on holiday, will see that I've read the memo. I know it's going to be cold. I need my passport. So hopefully I'm now prepared for my trip. How lovely is that? Loving those. Actually, I can't wait to wear them. I can't wait to find out where I'm going. I'm a little bit nervous, I must say, about the whole not knowing. And I said, when am I going? Somebody at work yesterday said to me, you found out yet where you're going? And I said, no, I'm not allowed to know until I'm at the gate of the airport. I mean, a bit of a control freak, as you know. I'm sure it's going to be lovely. I'm sure it's going to be lovely. Anyway, I've probably done enough talking for this week. But thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening if you have. If this has upset you in any way, I'm very, very sorry, but I have put a trigger warning on this. And I understand if you haven't been able to watch this, but I just wanted to share things with you today and hope that you don't relate in a way, but I'd love to know what your symptoms are if you're perimenopausal and menopausal at the moment, because it's a massive subject that is, I think, very misunderstood still. And takes on many different forms, doesn't it? Anyway, the next time I see you, I'll be 50 and a day. Next Sunday, as I say, I'm going out. I think I know I'm going out for something to eat on Saturday night, but I don't know who's coming or who's been invited. That's been left to my daughter. So yes, I'm going to enjoy my last week of being 49 in my 40s and do a bit more sorting out, getting organised for this amazing house move that we're going to have. Got a very positive year ahead, so I am very happy. I am very positive, and I'm okay. Let's put it that way. I am okay. And I thank you for joining me very much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. I'd love to have you on board. And until next Sunday, stay safe, stay in the boat, and keep doing all things good. Have a lovely week. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye. bye.